Hey, everybody.
Hello, people.
Do we like this better?
I feel like my head looks
Or
very
this?
big. I feel like you're
Um,
the YouTube expert. Is YouTube are the YouTube watchers going to appreciate all this black space around? Are they going to be like, nah, I don't like that? Like, I don't know. What do you think?
well, I think it's more appreciated when they can see more around us than just like our face. You know what I mean?
I do.
But I do agree. I don't like the black around it, but it is what it is. We could have a fancy background. I just don't have one to put on there for my CEO. But next time.
Maybe next time we can get that together.
Welcome to our podcast. Hey guys, my name is Olivia Hayward.
What's up? It's your girl, Courage Molina.
Oh, it's Amber Likens, and this is my CEO Squad. Before you leave our channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you never miss an upload. In the comments, let us know where you're tuning in from, and we cannot wait to get to know you more. Let's go ahead and start this conversation. Y'all might be wondering, where is the third CEO? Well, she's doing what CEOs want to do.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Yeah, we don't know actually.
She's finally quit. She's been trying to quit our podcast for quite some time, and we just refused her resignation. But then today she made a boss move and was like, "Yep, ain't coming." So
I guess that's the best way to quit. You just don't show up.
Stop showing up. Yeah. That's it. You're done.
Yeah. How do you actually quit something that you keep showing up to? It's like, you're not working here anymore. Why do you keep coming?
Keep showing up. Exactly.
Well, no, we really don't know where Olivia is this morning. She's texting us, but we'll talk to her after we record. She's fine though, she said.
And we'll be sure to shame her on the next episode.
Yeah, y'all know how we love to do that.
There will be lots of shade thrown when she comes back. Don't worry.
Well, it was a really interesting week and weekend. Yes. So we have a lot to catch you guys up on, but a lot of lessons within everything that happened. I find that Courage is also very mindful of what is going on in her life, that she's just like, oh my gosh, this is a lesson. Oh my gosh, I can teach on this. Like everything that you do, which I think is really good how your brain does this type of stuff. Yeah, it's just magical. I want to hear about it because there's a lot that you did that I really haven't heard yet. So go ahead.
Yeah, because we haven't talked. Yeah, so my mom came this week. She got here last week Sunday. So today is Monday. She was here from Sunday to Sunday. Did we record last week Monday? We did. Yeah, she was here. She was in the living room probably watching TV, which is like her favorite pastime. She's retired, so she loves to watch TV. And so this week wasn't a week where I could take the entire week off. This was like a makeup week. So her and my sister were supposed to come for Christmas. My sister got sick. They couldn't come. And they were going to drive together from Florida. Then for my mom's birthday, I was going to go down to Florida. And I know it sounds like such an exciting place, Florida, but I'm actually from a small town near Smyrna Beach, and there's not a ton to do there if you don't love beach life. So it's just, I was like, do you want me to come or do you want to come up? She's like, she wants to come up. We booked her flight. I'm like, I'm going to fly down so I could just pay for your flight up. Booked her flight. She got sick. So we had to reschedule it. I'm like, it's fine. We'll just reschedule it. This will be your birthday time when you come. So we rescheduled it for this month. And that's what she was out here for all those days. And it was really good. The only thing that was like a little bit of a problem is that the week that she was supposed to come for her birthday, that was at a time where I could have taken the entire week off, right? Like that's how it was. But because she came this week, it's not just that this week was crazy or anything like that, but the week prior to, like with Mike's car being broken down and me missing all of that time and just being not smart. I'm not sharp when I'm exhausted. And I was just exhausted. Like I couldn't get my work done, let alone get the extra stuff done. So I didn't have to do it this week. And this coming week, Wednesday, I'm taking off. So it was like, I need to do a lot of things ahead of time. I need to batch things, and I just couldn't do it. So I did have to work some while she was here. But the beautiful thing about it was that I didn't have to work every day. I did some work on Wednesday, but we literally watched TV the entire day because we went out Monday and Tuesday. And I actually have it in my planner. I just want to reference this. I just want to look and see like what exactly did we do this past week.
Well, let's stop right here. You wrote
Go
down
ahead.
what you did because we lose those thoughts about, well, I remember that we hung out, but I don't really remember what we did. We were just together. So you actually made notes?
Yeah, so I have a planner that I have, and in my planner, it has like the month. And so if I do something fun or something crazy happens that's not so fun, it's like horrible, then I try to keep that like a little, just like so I can see what I did. You know what I mean? So I know like how I celebrated or how I didn't celebrate, because you just go through life and you forget all the fun things that you did, or you feel like a schmuck, like you never did nothing fun in your whole life. So dramatic. And you can just go back and be like, well, actually, no, it was a really great month. So I have
You're
your
making
birthday.
so much noise at your desk. I
Am
just
I?
want to apologize to all the listeners right now. I'm just like thinking of the woman driving in her car and she's like, is there something rolling around in my back seat? No, it's Courage's desk, guys. So if you're watching the video on YouTube, I have to stop right now too and just tell you guys that on the podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, you can listen to us. We are there, but we are also, if you want to see the video of what we're doing, you can watch us on My CEO Squad on YouTube. So make sure you give us a 5-star rating, and it's so simple. I'm going to actually show you guys how to do that on like a short form video on our YouTube channel and also on our IG. So easy to do that and be like, it was a great listen. And then just subscribe so you don't miss an upload.
Yeah.
But continue.
Yeah. So, I just put things in here like my trip to Ohio. Me and Mike went on a date. Your birthday, the crab bowl, the surprise. And so I just put time with my mom. So on Monday, we went to like an open house. Like we looked at an open house. We went out to eat. We went shopping on Tuesday. Wednesday, we just vegged on the couch. Thursday, I literally had to work all day. Like there was no breaks. I didn't see her except for to come out and get something to eat. Mike had to pick up dinner because it was a full day on Thursday, which I knew it would be. But on Friday, we went to the Museum of Illusions, which was only like, it's a short little thing, 45 minutes or an hour, but it was really fun. And then we went to lunch. Every day that we went out, we went to lunch or to get something to eat. You know what I'm saying? Saturday, we had church, and then we all met up. We went to lunch again, and then we went to Amelie's. Then we had like family dinner. So yes, I write this stuff down. But the reason, I loved it, but the whole time I was thinking how different my life is as an entrepreneur. This is great. I love my mom, hanging out with my mom. The fact that I was able to do it, I could afford to. First of all, I didn't go to like a Michelin star place. I don't want to give the impression like I just took her to all this fine dining. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that. We ate out good, but it felt good to be able to go out to eat, to go wherever we wanted to go and not be thinking about how much money I was spending, because I remember having a heart to celebrate things and people. And I might have done it, but I couldn't do it without the thought of like, what is that going to do to my bills? What is that going to do to my whatever? And so this week, it was really good to be able to do that and not have to think of those things. I paid for the tickets online, like just all of that. And I just started to think like, holy crap. I remember when I was going to somebody else's job, I was on a job somewhere, clocking in and clocking out, and I would daydream and think about how great it would be to be able to have like, just like a little bit more time, freedom or flexibility. And to think that now that is my actual life, that the reason I was able to hang out with my mom and pay for her to come out and all of those things is because I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like that is so, like that is, girl, that blows my mind. I could talk all day about that. Like just all of the little things that you miss that you don't think about when you're thinking about quitting your job or when you're thinking about building your business. I think we can get so caught up in like profit and how much we need to make. And for the record, I did not hit 6 figures this past year. So I think that's what everybody talks about. 6-figure business, which can make you feel like if you don't have a 6-figure business, then you're not successful. Now, the year before I made six figures. This past year I did not. But this past year, like it still allowed me to have this time freedom and to do work that I absolutely love doing. It's a different way of living.
I
It was
think
great.
hearing from you a lot about six figures, not six figures or whatever, I think more so the year you had your biggest year, right? Is
Yeah.
the year that you are now reflecting on and having a lot of lessons in that. Because
Yeah.
we can make so much, but also we go, where did it go? Right? I
Listen.
mean, right. We also do that. And I think when you are now reflecting on it, I think that you're living a more like less stressful life as far as your
Mm-hmm.
finances, because you
Yeah.
go, well, last year I did this year I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Right? You're making different money moves, and you're
Yeah.
actually setting yourself up to go, well, then the following year I want to do this year, so the next year I can look at doing this. And I think you're better off this year, to be
I
honest, like
def-
mindset
oh,
and money wise.
without a doubt, I definitely am. I feel
Yeah.
like I made all that money, but I was still so scared that I was gonna go broke, that if I
Yep.
spent it, and then I had like probably not more than I had this year, actually. But I had all these things that came up that just felt like all of these things are going to rob me of my money. Like all of these,
Mm.
emergency this and emergency that. Like this fell apart, and I need to help this person do this. Like all of those things. And so while I was hoarding it in one mindset, you know what I'm saying? Like I was like trying to hold on to it. There were so many things that was just snatching it out of my hand that I just couldn't enjoy it. And this year, I'm like, I'm not doing that this year. I'm gonna live on what I make this year. I'm gonna set a budget. I'm gonna set money aside,
Yes.
like all of those things. I'm gonna do that, but I'm also going to live. I'm not gonna be like, well, I can't afford to do that. Now I did struggle a tiny bit, tiny teensy bit. Okay. I don't want y'all to think that this poverty mindset just goes away overnight. It does not. Um, so the week before my mom came, we had all this car trouble. So we had unexpected car repairs, car parts, just all of that stuff, unexpected additional expenses. There wasn't anything we could do. It just had to be done. Right. My daughter's car also messed up, Kyra's car, and we paid for her car to be towed. So, and that was all last week when we had all that
Yeah.
car trouble. Right. And so then my mom's here and we're doing all the things. Mike and I are going to Vegas on Wednesday for our anniversary. And so I started to think like, okay, we're getting ready to go to Vegas. I'm not going to spend any money. I'm not going to do this, this, and this. And it's not because I don't have it. I just feel like, well, I've just spent so much in the last 2 weeks. I
Yeah.
shouldn't spend it. Girl, I've been married for 22 years. We are going to Las Vegas. We're going to have a good time. We're going to do what we want to do. We're going to eat where we want to eat. Like, I'm not going to go there thinking about every single dot. Like, I'm just not going to do it. And I had to tell myself, you have this money for this trip for a reason. This is actually why you have budgeted, so that you can I actually have money set aside for the
For the
trip.
trip.
Yes, this is not just like, oh, I'm going to pull it from something else. I actually have money set aside for the trip. And I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't use all the money that I have set aside for the trip because of all these other things. And I just had to like literally shake it off. I was like, nope, not doing that. I'm going to have a great time. We have a budget for the trip. We're going to do whatever we want to do and stay within the budget. And that's it. Do you know what I mean? And it's not just that we have a budget, for the record. I just want to make this clear. We don't just have a budget like, oh, we're only going to spend X amount of dollars. What I'm saying to you is I have removed money from the general population of the account and put it in another account over time, specifically for this trip.
Yes.
That's the money I'm talking about. Maybe I shouldn't use it, or like that's the whole reason you saved for it.
Saved it. Yes.
It's so
Yes.
like it makes me so sad. Like I'm so sad for myself and for other people. For it's like you're doing the right things, but because you have like this poverty mindset and you've had it for so long, you still are like not fully enjoying the life that you could be enjoying. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
crazy.
Yes.
Crazy.
Well, when you start a business, it's always been taught 60-40 split. And you don't take your whole 100% paycheck. I think this happens so young. You just get so excited that you just made all this money, however, and it's in there and you're like, oh my gosh, I have all this money now. Well, you don't. So you have to do what you would do if you work for someone else. The company makes a lot of money. You get a portion of that. You get a percentage of that. And I think that's really important. That was something you said earlier this year, or like last year, even going into this year, is that next year I will have a paycheck. I will pay myself. And then, because my business needs to, have the money as well. So I just think that's something that sometimes people that are not good with money, they will like look past that, and they don't know how to budget, and they don't know how to pull aside, and they don't know how to do all those things. And I've not always been the best with money. I'm like, I got it. It's fine. Let me swipe that card. But it's not a good mentality to have.
Right.
So it's not, but it's, I think, but you don't know until it's like taken from you and you're like, oh, no. Nope.
I do not like this. I got to get back to, it gives you this peace of mind to know, like, this is I'm not worried about, the setup is great, right? Because the way my business model is set up, I'm not worried about sales. Last year, even though I made 6 figures the year before, 2021, right? That year, I was very like dependent on sales. So even though I made $100,000, I made more than $100,000 in 2021. It was feast and famine all year long. And so my spending was based on sales. So if I did a launch, then I might have a ton of money. But if I didn't do a launch, or there wasn't any sales, or I was in between launches, then it's like, okay, now I don't have any money. And I didn't pay myself a salary. It was just like, okay, this is what I have and this is what I need, or this is what I have and this is what I want. So I'm going to spend it on this, 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 and this. Yes. This year, because I did the one launch at the end of the year, that is what I've set my salary at. My salary for the month, just very modest, which is crazy because it's so modest, but I've done more with it than I did the previous year. My salary is a modest salary. And I'm going to tell you guys what it is. And the reason I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to tell y'all. The reason I'm going to tell y'all is because you don't know how much it is. The reason I'm going to say the amount is because I think that when people say modest or I have a small salary, people are like, okay, what is small though? Right?
I feel like when you say it though, you have to explain a lot more. I think that I'm like, it's fine to share it, but I think women, somebody listening right now might go, okay, I made a lot this year, or I didn't, or I want to plan ahead. I think you need to give them more information. Yes. And breaks. Okay, if you're gonna do it, let's go.
Yeah. So I am in a listen, for the record, I'm in a 2-income household. So I'm just talking about my own personal income that I bring to my household. Yes. It is $3,650 a month. $3,650 a month is what I contribute to our household. And so that's modest. I was a classroom teacher and I made more than that by the time I was like at my 9th, 10th, and 11th year, or maybe it was like the last 4 years, I'm definitely made more money than that. So I'm talking about my bring home. I still have to pay for health insurance and things like that. As an entrepreneur, we have health insurance and I pay for health insurance. And so that's way less, like maybe like $5-6 grand less a month than I paid myself the previous year. Just so we're clear. Okay. The previous year, I definitely was collecting, using as my income more than double what I take right now. So we're talking about a 50% pay cut from last year. So I'm at $3,650, but with the $3,650, I have more peace this year. And I know where my money's going and I know how much I'm going to make. And I don't have this like desperation, and my income is not contingent upon a launch or sale, right? Mm-hmm. So last year I had to do like so many launches. I got to do this. This launch was for these 4 weeks. The next launch is for the next, or not 4 weeks, 4 months. The next launch is for the next 4 months. And then if I don't do this launch, that's going to change. That's not what it is. I did a launch at the end of the year. I'm like, this is how much I made from this launch. This is what I'm going to pay myself from the launch. This is how much money is going to stay with the business. And I made my budget based on that 3650. And so, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just been very different. I think that I needed to go through an extremely difficult financial time, followed by a time where there was plenty of money coming in. Because I think you think times are tough because you don't have enough money. But I had way more money, and times were still really tough because of how it came in, because of how I budgeted, because of how I felt about it. I felt like the money was just going to disappear. I felt like I couldn't say no to things that people needed from me, that I was a little bit more generous than I could have been realistically. And not like nobody knows. It's not like I was generous. Okay, Amber needs something. And so I paid for something for Amber, and then the whole world knew about it. So it wasn't like I was doing it so that people knew. People still don't know who I helped or how much I helped or how much I gave. But I think that I gave way more than I realistically could have afforded for my household. If I had had a budget, I wouldn't have given as much as I gave. I would have been like, I actually cannot afford to give that much. This is what I can do to help you. Like, I can give you this amount, but I gave above and beyond because I didn't have a budget, but I had like a bucket full of money, right? So I needed all of those things to happen in those order for me to get here. So with less money, way less, like more than 50% less. I have gone to Ohio. We're getting ready to go to Vegas. I'm going to like, we just got all these things that we're doing. We're going out to eat. Like, we are going on dates almost every weekend. It's so different, and it's so crazy. I'm like, I can't wait to get back to six figures. I'm like, oh, I'm really going to be living there for real with this new mindset and this new budget. I'll still have a budget, right? But with this new mindset and this budget, I'll be able to see our financial health and our lifestyle move forward way more than I've ever seen it before, because now I'm a different person. Like, my mindset is so different. So I'm glad that you brought that up. You are 100% right. I made more money than I ever made as an entrepreneur, and I was still like absolutely miserable financially anyway. And this year I'm like, no, this is the budget. So I've got a budget for it. If I want to get it, I can get it. It's in the budget for a reason. Like,
so let's hit on this a little bit deeper, because I am experiencing, like, what are you experiencing listening? And as Courage is bringing this up, I'm constantly thinking of, like, what do we tell our children, or what did our parents tell us? Or maybe not even a parent. Maybe you grew up with a grandparent, or a sibling raised you. I don't know your situation, but typically someone that is older than you that has raised you somehow has always tried to teach you a lesson. And sometimes, more than none, we don't listen. We're like, no, I got this, and you just keep moving. But then what is said is, well, you've got to learn for yourself, right? Well, let them fall down first, and then they'll figure it out. And it doesn't matter who's taught you this, or who you've listened to, or who you thought that you, could experience a little life from. You sometimes have to do it on your own. So Courage could have had all the advice in the world, or you listening, or myself, and said, well, do this, this, and this. But you're like, no, I got this. I'm going to do it how I think I need to do it. Right. And then you realize, until it hits home, you personally, you're not going to actually understand how important it is for you to, like, prioritize all those things. So I'm kind of glad it happened like that. It sucks. Now that you look back on it, but it's actually a really good lesson. So I say that to, sometimes you have to go through your own experiences, right? For you to actually learn from it. Who knew that the conversation today was going to be about money?
Who knew?
Yeah, I like it, though. I think that if you are listening and you think, I want more of this, we want to know, like, when you're listening, and if you have any questions for any of us, then we want you to bring that up. And it may be something that we have another friend that could hit on that a little bit harder than we can, right? So we're excited for you to bring that up to us, and make sure you drop that in the comments, or even, like, DM us, my CEO squad, and just let us know. We want to hear that from you. So while we're talking about that, you have all these trips planned. You're going to Vegas Wednesday. What happens in Vegas comes back to my CEO squad. I've never been to Vegas, but a lot of like my husband has and my sister has, and now you're going, but you've been before. Olivia's been. A lot of people I know have been. It's just like, oh yeah, I've been to Vegas. It's not a big deal. I've never experienced it, so I am just like dying inside. Like,
I think that this is going to be different than the last time. I mean, Olivia and I went to Vegas a few years back, but we didn't do Vegas. We just went to Vegas, right? Like, we didn't walk the strip. We didn't go to like a bunch of casinos. We went to the casino. First of all, the place that we stayed, I think we stayed in like the Palms. We stayed in this like, condo or whatever. It was a great condo, but the place that we stayed in didn't actually have a casino. It was like attached to another thing. We could like walk across this kind of like this indoor bridge and get over there to that casino. And we went there like one time, but we didn't really do Vegas. We didn't go to any of the other hotels. We didn't walk around and we didn't do any of that. I'm going with my husband. We're definitely going to be looking at the other hotels. We're going to be on the strip. I'm certain that we will go to a dispensary. Right. Because it's legal out there. So I'm sure that we will go to a dispensary. I think that there's like an attraction for people where there's not like, where it's just like so out in the open with CBD and THC and all that stuff. I think we're going to go out. I'm sure that we're going to go to that. Before you email me, don't email your mama. I'm grown. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure we'll do that. And he wants to hit the slot machines. Let me just tell you what I want to do. Like, I know those are things he wants to do. All I want to do is eat and sightsee, because Vegas has got like great food, great restaurants.
Go see that woman that gave you a good massage. All I hear from y'all is that is the best massage you've ever had.
I thought about that this morning. I'm like,
yes.
I need to see if there's a spa where we are, like the hotel that we're staying in. Is there like a spa or something? Because baby, that massage was the best massage I ever had in my life. No, I didn't even remember where we stayed. It was like 2000 and I hadn't quit my job yet. It was the last year that I worked, 2017 maybe.
You're going all the way there. I feel like you've got to figure that out. You got to text all the girls and figure out.
Hey, where was that? What was her name? Let me find my receipt.
Probably not even working there anymore.
I know. Probably not, honestly, because it was like 2017, you know, and then the pandemic and people stopped. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. This is probably going to be, I'm going to feel like this is like my first time doing Vegas, because we did not see anything. We worked, we're workaholics. So we were in Vegas for work. So we mostly worked while we were there.
Yes. Well, I want you to take as much footage as possible. I know when you're in the moment, we want to be in the moment. Not everything can be like content constantly. So I think that you're just going to grab stuff just to like add to your story. So maybe just follow Courage Melina, right? So you can just actually check out you're good at adding to your stories. I will tell you that.
Yes, later, right? Like, because what I do is I take
not in the moment.
Not in the moment. I'll take like a 2-second video, which my husband can tolerate a 5 to 10 second video, right? He can tolerate that from time to time. But taking a 5 to 10 second video, then trying to add music to it, like trying to do all of those things. Oh, wait, let me put the location. Okay, let me put, he's not, no, he ain't got that kind of time. You know what I'm saying? So he ain't gonna go for it.
Yeah. So you'll see it after the fact, which, you know what, I know that you're saying that you're going to Vegas and you're saying you're leaving on Wednesday, which I didn't think about until just now. I can't stand telling people when I go out of town publicly until I come back. And I'm like, by the way, I went out of town last
What do you
week.
think is going to happen if people know that?
I don't know. I don't know.
You think people are going to come? If somebody comes to this house, they are going to be, this is the South. This is the South. And so you can have guns.
Will eat them alive.
We have a pit bull, and there will be people here watching our home, and they are armed individuals. Yes. And because of their age, they don't have pistols, they have shotguns. Because you can get a shotgun before you can get a pistol. So please don't try it at this house.
Which I'm all for it, right? I think it's so.
First of all, and by the time this podcast comes out, I will be back. I'll be like close to coming back, so it's fine.
Kinda, yeah, you're right. If I can get my life together and upload it, and all that stuff every week, Courage. Either I'm ahead or Courage is Ahead. One of the two. We're never on the same page. Never.
Yeah, so I've just decided we're gonna drop it. We're just gonna drop it on the following Monday. Like that's it. That's what I've decided. I'm over it. I'm
let it be.
trying. Yeah, so I dropped one today, the day that we're recording. It's from last week. Yeah. I dropped one today. It's Monday. It's from last week.
Next Monday. Okay.
And then this one I will set up for next Monday.
Yeah, and we have said on past recordings up every Friday, but we decided Courage made it. We're always very good at what makes sense, not just for us, but for y'all. Like we record on Monday because it makes sense for us, but then it's like we want to actually release it earlier in the week because it's what we're talking about in the moment. Typically, what's going on the internet and the web, the interweb. Yeah. It's going to be a good time. Well, let's talk about this. So we went to this home show, which was not a home show. So I'm so glad you didn't
weekend.
Come.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I kept saying home show, but it's
She kept saying, "You want to go to this home show?
Your home.
You want to go to this home show?" And my mom was here, and I was like, "She's like, oh, you and your mom should come to this home show." Yeah.
Glad you didn't come. So the first thing was we pull in, and my sister. So I went with my sister. She's so funny, by the way. I am like, we are more alike. She's funny in her own way, but we're more alike than we want to admit. And we sound the same more than ever. She's living like not in my home, but on our property, her and her family while they build. We're spending more time together. Our kids can't even, they think we sound the same. It's just a whole thing. Well, we pull in and I'm just cracking up at her because she's like, there's not a lot of cars here. I'm like, yeah, that's weird. There's really not. I wonder if we're in the wrong spot. So we kind of circle around. Nope, still not a lot of cars. So that was a first red flag. The second red flag was when we go in, it is like crickets. There's no music. So there's no hype, right? Like when you're going to a place and there's vendors of whatever the vendor may be, these vendors were like directed towards like roofing and siding and gutterings and doors and windows and cabinets and kitchen and counter and anything you would want to use in your home. Like they're there just to kind of talk to you about it, show you, so you can kind of see it. Well, hot tubs, pools, whatever. It is like crickets. Like it is just the most like, you know, when you go to any event, you already feel awkward kind of in a sense because you don't know what to expect. Then you get your ticket and you actually walk in and you feel like all eyes are on you because you're like, oh, here's a person. And then it's like, right there trying to find you. So everybody we walked by, probably I would say 70% of the people stopped us with a compliment of some sort, which I'm not against. I think it's awkward for them as much as it's awkward for you. They have already set themselves up to be a very vulnerable position. They spent time to set up their booth. It looks beautiful. It's awesome. They have all the advertising they could imagine, right? It's great. Now they are relying on the person to come just to get a connection. Let's see what happens, right? So to us, we're already like, well, don't be talking to us because we're only here for two things, countertops and kitchen cabinets. Let's see if we can find somebody that can offer us something to look at. And Angel, so here's both of us. I am more of an extrovert, but also introvert in a way. Angel's 100% an introvert.
How are you introvert in a way? I
don't like to talk to people necessarily all the time. I like to be in my own space. I like to be in my own bubble. I don't want to be
You never want to be in your bubble alone though. So you are selective extrovert, but you are, I don't know any part of your life that I have ever witnessed with any introvertedness at all whatsoever.
I think it depends on the situation, but I'm more leaning towards extrovert for sure.
More leaning. She's like 99.9%.
Well, my sister is not. And she said, so throughout the event, I'm noticing.
You've also got a quieter personality too. I think that's another thing. You are an extrovert and your personality is like crazy. Yes. I think Angel is definitely an introvert, but she's also like a quieter personality. Even when you get to know her, she's still quieter than you are. Do you know what I mean?
She is. Yeah.
She doesn't want to cause any commotion. She doesn't want to cause no trouble. She's like, it's fine. Let's just walk away. You're like, no, we're not going to walk. Like, do you know what I mean? She's very quiet. Okay, continue.
And
I wish I had gone.
Oh my gosh. So one, we're walking through like we're on a mission, and I like to look at things. I mean, guilt me if that's a problem, but I'm just like, oh, that's really pretty. And I'm like speaking it out loud. Angel is like beelining right past them. She's like, please don't speak to me. Like, I don't want any eye contact at all. And so, and of course, you make eye contact, they are going to say hi. And then I say,
Yes.
hi, have a good day. Are you interested? No, we're not interested. Just looking. And we keep moving, right? So comments are coming back and forth. There were some areas that we went that respectfully, they were so nice because they left us alone. We were in their space looking and touching everything. And they were like, let us know if you need anything. And then those are the people that we actually took their information, right?
Yeah.
Like, we just respect it. We're like, okay, we feel like that was great experience. And then we left. So they're building a home. So they really are looking for legit countertops and cabinets and somebody that can do them, and just getting a couple of different quotes. So we're going to email them like their prints or whatever and figure out what that looks like. But they were really nice. But Angel, after the fact, we left this area and we went to another area where it was more like vendors, and it was like hot sauces and things you could use in your kitchen or your home, right? That type of vendor. And so it was like any type of little cakes or seasonings for the grill, oils for your home, whatever it looked like. And there were 3 places that I remember stopping at. And we first walked in and there was this dad and son, or maybe an uncle and son, I don't know, but they had sauces and seasonings and all types of things. And their personality was so like, I just wanted to be in that space. And so their energy was really high, and everybody was kind of gathered around the table. And Alan likes to grill. So I was like, I'm going to take one of each. So I got all the things. And then we tasted them, and Angel was talking to him, and it was a good time. Then we went to the next table, and it was little bundt cakes, but they were called rum cakes. So they had rum in them, and they were little cakes, and he was giving out samples. And so we ate some. We're like, oh, that's good. He said, I have a deal. And he named his deals. And the last one was like 6 for 36. We're like, we'll take 6. She got 3. I got 3. Then we went to another table, and it was oils for your home. And several people stopped and said, your earrings are beautiful. They are. They're Olivia Hayward. Duh. They always look good. And so she was talking to me, and then she was just like, have you tried these oils? And I was like, yes, I have the oils at home. I actually have some of y'all's at home, all this. And then she's just like, just throwing out compliments, just trying to start conversation. But then we actually ended up talking about the Christmas show that happened at this place. And she was like, well, if you're not kind of into this vibe, the Christmas show is really amazing. And I was like, never been to it. She's like, oh, are you new here? I was like, I've lived here my whole life. I'm just not into coming. And she was like, oh, okay. Well, meanwhile, probably 5 minutes later, I finally get away and walk away. Not get away. I just walk away. I'm like, okay, thank you guys, and walk away. Angel's like, I've realized something about myself. And I was like, what? She was like, I have social anxiety. I don't like this at all. I was like, you think? You beeline it out of every conversation we were having. And if she didn't beeline out of the conversation, she looked down at her phone pretending she was busy. Meanwhile, she was doing nothing. And I was like, she was like, I don't understand where I get this from. And I was like, well, first of all, nobody's trying to sell me anything. I guess this is why I bring all this up. I'm not intimidated or scared that someone's going to sell me something that I don't want. Do you understand? So when you're in a situation like that, you already have to have your mind made up. Yeah. Regardless of how good it is, regardless of if I want it, I don't need it, I don't want it, I'm going to be kind to you. And I think because in the past, I have been a vendor at events, especially being in a direct sale business, that's something that's definitely pushed down your throat, set up a table somewhere. And I think that's all well and good, but it is more awkward for that person at the table versus you walking by. I just want y'all to be clear on that. Yeah. And so I just knew I'm going to make it less awkward for them. And instead of me going, I'm snubbing them off, I was engaging like, yeah, good. Have a good day. Thank you so much. And just kept it moving because I don't want to embarrass them in a situation or me be embarrassed by a situation. Do you know what I mean? Because that can happen. And I just think we have to, as business owners and as entrepreneurs, a lot of them out there in the vendor event, especially the second one we went to, are all entrepreneurs. The sauces, the seasonings, the bundt cakes, the oils, those 3 that I stopped at, they have done something a little different. They're like, I'm going to start my own business.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put myself out there as awkward or as hard as it is. And I just have to be somewhat respectful of
Yeah.
them. And even though it was awkward and it was lame and it was awful, I'll never go back. I'm like, y'all have a lot of hustle and grit. I will never go back to that. It was just not fun. And the
I
woman
think
was like, what's not fun about it? I was like, girl, they need music. There's no sound. It is crickets. It's not cool.
So you didn't like first of all,
The vibe
you're
was
like,
terrible.
I will never go back. So you didn't like the vibe.
Mm-mm.
I think that I think it's interesting the way you describe the two portions of the event. I wonder if on the home side, if they were true entrepreneurs or if they were salespeople, right? Like I'm in a sales position or I'm contracted to sell these things. So I actually have like an employer or I actually have like this person that I'm doing this company that I do this for. So my husband is not an entrepreneur. He installs windows, doors, and like refits showers, right? But he does that for a company. I can
Yep.
imagine him and his coworkers or somebody like that being on that side of
Yes.
the thing. And I can tell you right now, his energy is not going to be like, yes, I'm so glad that you're here. Come over and look, especially if it's like, oh, well, it's sales, or even if they're getting paid by the hour. Because my husband, because he's an installer, like he's an artisan through and through. He's not interested in getting paid to sit around and talk to people. He just
Yep.
actually enjoys the installing of the windows. So maybe he can
Yes.
sell you something, upgrade you, offer you an upgrade or a bump while he's doing the work because there's actually like he's actually excited about talking to you about, well, this is actually going to help your energy level, or this is more durable, or this is why this is great. So have you considered this because this is the difference. He can sell you that way, but standing at a booth with a mock window and door and shower, he's not going to have the same energy as I would on the other side of that, selling a
Yes.
product that I've created or that I love or that I have passion for, even as a direct salesperson. So like when you're talking about the two guys who had the seasonings, they probably love what they do. They probably like to eat. They probably cook all the time. They love their product. And so there's more buy-in from them. And I think that changes the energy of the interaction. So it's less awkward because while they want you to buy something, it's like, I have a great product. I absolutely love it. I just want an opportunity to talk to you about it. It doesn't feel so like doom and gloom. If I don't buy something, are they going to have a job when I leave here? Or
Exactly.
do you know what I mean? Like, are they going to, do they need to sell so many things? And like, it's just different. You have this different level of passion.
Yep.
And
There was a woman there. Now that I think about it, you were like, I don't know if they're employed by the company that set up the booth or they are true entrepreneurs. I don't know because they were all mixed, right? You don't know.
right.
You don't even know if it's the owner there that's like, I started in my garage and now
Right.
look at what the company, whatever. But there was a woman there that she was a designer. So I thought I mean, they had really great people there.
Yeah.
That if you were really looking for all those things, you needed to be in that space. Because sometimes
Yeah.
it's hard to find those local people.
What did it look like?
It was kind of like little vignettes. I cannot. I've heard that word a couple times this weekend. I crack up. Olivia needed to be here for that one. Y'all are like, don't get it. It's fine. But yeah, they were literally little vignettes. But they were just little spots set up very differently. Everybody had their own section. Obviously,
Gotcha.
everything kind of moved into each other, but it was like a row. You went down one row, you went down this row, you went down this row, right? So it was just set up. You could kind of walk in between, but you know, when you walk in between, you might get in a cobweb. Shoo, gotcha. So you got to be really careful and dodge the right thing. Angel's like, no, don't go that way. Go this way. I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go.
What would have made it better? What would have made it, because there's like, we have, business owners listening. What would have made it a better event for you? What would you like have needed to see or experience for you to be like, oh my gosh, it was great? Or let me ask that question. I have a follow-up question, but let me ask that. What would have made it better in your opinion?
So I'm going to answer that, but I have to make this statement. There was a guy there that he said, I can make your roof look like this. I was like, my roof already looks like that. And he was like, oh, I was like, yeah. So that's not good. Thank you though. So things like, so don't come to anybody with a one-liner. I don't like that. So have energy, right? I would think a little bit of music at your place, or second, not just music, but have something to sell that I can walk away with. Someone had something set up. They were for spines. They were checking spines. I have no idea why that had anything to do with your home, but they were there checking, has your spine been checked recently? Like chiropractors potentially. And I was like, I'm good. Right. I just wasn't doing that. But they had keychains and little koozies for your cups. Like they had little things to sell at their spot. So I would say, I would encourage anybody, even if it's maybe not even related to what you do, but you could have something to sell that maybe had your company logo on it, or just something cool that you're like, someone would like this. So I would have something like that. That's kind of like tiny in like $5, $10, $20, something to buy. Cause I walked in with the mentality, and I actually woke up that morning going, am I going to shop today? Like I kind of get excited about going shopping.
I bet you do.
Yeah. And I'm like, what would I buy there though? You know, I was like, nothing. Yeah. That sucks. I was like, ugh, that stinks. We'll have to figure that out. And so when we were walking in, Angel and I again said the same thing. And I was like, I don't really think I'm shopping today. Are you shopping? She was like, I don't think we can shop. So then when we went to the second like vendor thing, we got excited. That's why I got sauces and butt cakes. Yes. I don't need them at all. But I was like, oh yes, we need this today. Yeah. So have something that someone can walk away with that they can use that's practical in their everyday life. That would be my tip.
Okay. So this sounds really good, right? So something more interactive where like your energy is more interactive. Maybe the roof guy could have been doing like a demonstration. Maybe they could have had like a roof that looked good and a roof that they could have been nailed, or they could have like poured water on it and had like little fake windows. So it can be like, oh, you think your roof doesn't need to be replaced because it still looks good, but this could happen. And then he could like reveal the crazy things on it. I know, right? Because then you're going to stop and you're going to watch and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, well, my roof looks good, just like this roof. But maybe under it, there are some secret problems that I don't know. And you guys can come and look at it. So now I'm excited. I've gotten your number. I've gotten your card. And I've set up a free consultation for you to come out to my home and look at my roof, because I looked at my roof and it looks good, but you just showed me a roof that looked good but had all these secret dangers. There could have been some type of game. There could have been some type of, hey, you guys come. Let's see which one of you can put these tiles on the fastest or rip these tiles off. Like it could have been. Oh,
that too. Yeah. Right? They did have someone there like scan this gift card for a gift card from Lowe's. They did have some things like that. Someone did. I didn't do it though. But they did have that. So I'm with you on that though. Yeah. It's like, get to know your people, allow them to feel comfortable in your space. Again, it goes back to video content. It's not even just video, but it's in person too. Like, no trust. You don't even like them because you walked past them. So how are you going to like them if you don't engage with them?
And it needs to be an easy exchange, right? It needs to be an easy exchange, because when I come to you, I know that you want to sell something. So I'm already resistant. But if you're like, you just want to inform me, you want to teach me, you want to entertain me, you want to show me, and maybe you're going to give me a free gift. Maybe it's going to be, so I went to this little event, and maybe you're only going to do enough for like the first 100 people or whatever. But I went to this event and I had like this, they gave me this little box. And it had chocolate in it. It was like a heart, and it had like a little hammer in it for me to smack the heart, right? For me to crack the heart open. And then it was like something was in there. Some type of marketing thing was in there or whatever. But as a roofing guy, you could have had like maybe roof tile shaped, candies. I don't know. You can literally get anything. What is it, like customized? You can get customized M&Ms for God's sakes. Do you know what I mean? Like, so like you could have done any of those things, like just a little free giveaway, anything to get them to come into your space to increase the energy. Who's not happier when they get like a little treat, or they win a little prize, or they win a little whatever? Like, who's not excited about that thing? And even like you said, go ahead. Even like you said, even if you're not going to give away something, maybe you do roofs and you're not going to give away something you're not going to give me a roof tile, but maybe you're going to give me a flag for my yard. And I don't necessarily mean like an American flag or anything like that, but like a lawn flag that is super cute that says like spring or sunny day. Or maybe you're going to give me like one of those, what are those things called? The solar, they're like glass solar, like butterflies or whatever. And you just stick one there and it's out in the sun in your garden all day. And then at night, your little, firefly or dragonfly or whatever lights up because, do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like just something really tiny. It's something that you could have kept like to bring me into your little life.
Yes.
And then,
yes.
Do you know what I'm saying? And now that increases 100%. My energy, right? Now my energy's excited. And even if everybody's not going to have music, maybe I'm going to have a little sound going in my own little vignette there. You know what I'm saying? So like, think about this. So if you are organizing a vendor event and you're going to have a bunch of vendors, like how can you create an atmosphere that's going to get people excited as soon as they come in the door before they talk to any of your vendors if you're the one that's organizing it? And if I am a vendor, what is it that I'm going to do so that my little section, my vignette, my table is talked about, even if people, because I think we are like, when we think of a vendor event, we're only thinking of sales, probably because it costs us to be there, but we need to be thinking about like world domination. Okay. You need to be thinking about world domination. You don't need to make a sale right now. This is our lesson for you today. World domination. You need to be thinking about world domination, not just like the sale, because when my goal is to take over the world, Pinky, it means that my strategy is going to be different. I want everybody that comes through here to remember us, even if they never buy a thing from us right now, because because they know people and now they've had such a great interaction with me that they are going to take me with them wherever they go. But when you're just boring and you're only thinking about the sale right now, then people aren't going to remember you. You didn't give them anything to remember you by. You didn't think of like, what is a useful, not lame, what is a useful thing I can give them that they're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is so great. I got this from a whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. So. Yeah, I think that's really amazing and a good tip. What hit me was the marketing that went behind this. How we heard about it was my father-in-law. So he told us at the dinner table, hey, did y'all know the home show's coming to Charlotte? It's going to be the biggest one.
Do you know where he heard it?
Yeah, let me tell you, they watch the news every morning. Wah, wah. And Angel was like, how did you hear about that? And he was like, well, the Channel 9 News brought it up early in the morning. I was like, oh, my gosh. Angel's like, oh, that'd be really kind of cool. Okay. And she's building a house. That's why he brought it up, right? There might be things here you'll see. So, we heard it from the news. How much did the news – they have to pay the news to talk about it? That's one. I just want to live that up. I don't know. The second thing is when we walked in the place, they had bags for everybody, like just laying on a table, just like plastic bags with logos on them. So how much did you have to pay to get your name on the logo, which I don't care about, and it'll be in the garbage. The second thing is all the flyers and stuff and business cards. Do you know what actually bothers me so bad right now? Is I got 2 business cards, no 3, from the rum cakes, the sauces, and the cabinet guy, and they didn't have a QR thing that I could scan. Give me something to scan, because now, do you know what? I don't know where the other cards are, and I have.
It is so annoying because I'm literally about to say to you, I want to know about the rum cakes, and I definitely want to know about the sauces because Mike doesn't listen to this podcast, so it's safe. His birthday's in May, and I'm already like starting to purchase his birthday items so that I can. Yes. And he loves to barbecue as well. Yep. So do you have that card?
I hope. I'm like, oh my. So I'm just like panicking, and I'm like, and they didn't have like YouTube or Instagram. And I was like, I was like, can I look you up? He was like, oh no, I don't do that. I was like, huh? But the song, oh wait, Mike Seasoning, he said he's on TikTok. Now he was very funny. He had so many little quotes to say, girl, one-liners. I was like, that needs to be on shirts. Okay.
Mike
But Mike
Seasonings.
Seasoning, yes, he is hilarious.
I think I've heard of him before. I think I've heard of that sauce before.
He said everybody's heard of him. Everybody's heard of him. And he had all the one-liners. I was dying laughing. I was like, first of all, you need to make shirts. And the rum guy, he was a friend of the family. So he was like, I'm here to help my friend out. But they're based out of Georgia. But they were so yummy. They were really, really good. So many flavors. But I tell you that because, okay, yes, we said a lot of things. We said energy, something also that's interactive. So like music, but also interactive. Something that you can give your people to take home that they're not going to throw away.
Right.
You know, something that they're like, oh my gosh, I remember this. And then have something to scan. Everybody's on their phone right now. Let them follow you because a business card will get lost and they will lose it by the time they get home. I swear to you. So again, I don't know where the other two are, but I know where the third one is. And I think that's the rum cake guy because it's like a blue card. And I was like, can't lose that. I was like, that's very important to keep. So I want to just tell you that the marketing that you put behind things and the website, all that's valid. You need all those things, but you really have to think about the consumer. How is that person going to remember you? Like Courage said, how can they stay connected to you? And there's a commercial that comes across YouTube all the time and it's for Chewy. This is not a sponsored ad, but I don't order from Chewy. I used to, and I think Courage still does, but you don't. Yeah. There's two dogs and there's like it's a Saint Bernard and another little dog. And he gets really excited about his peanut butter snacks coming in his box. And then the other little dog is like, no, that's not our peanut butter snacks. That's our medicine. And he's like, no, it's peanut butter snacks. And there's like this little song that's like behind it about these two dogs having a conversation about the box that's on their porch. And I cannot get it out of my head. And I'm like, I need to order from Chewy instead of going and picking up my stuff from the store every week or every 2 weeks or whatever. And it's little stuff like that. They might not buy it now, but they will buy it later. India subscribe and like have a subscription, right? It will pay off. Okay,
that's why I say world domination.
Sure.
That's why I say world domination, right? That's why I say world domination, because when you're not focused on the sale at the counter, yes, you want to make a sale. Like, yes, yeah, definitely. That's we in business. We just talked about income and financial, all those things. But you have got to think long term. I'm going to be in this business. I'm going to be an entrepreneur for the next 30 years. I'm going to be a real estate a realtor for the next 30 years. I'm not just trying to sell a home today. I'm not just trying to sell a roof repair today. I want everyone to know my name so that 3 weeks from now, 3 months from now, 12 months from now, when it is time, you're going to have my song, my jingle, my jokes in your head, and you are going to come back and purchase from me, and you're going to tell all your friends about me, right? Like that's how that's going to happen. But I think that only happens when you have more of like a long-term mindset, which can be really hard. This is crazy how this conversation turned out because it really works well together, even though we didn't know it was going to go here. Actually, I'm going to tie it together before we close. We started out talking about finances and the importance of like having a budget and things like that. When you don't have a budget, it leads you to a place where you are desperate for the sale. And so that becomes your focus. So when you're at a vending event, when you're creating an event, you're just thinking and hoping and focusing on a sale. You're not thinking about your customer, your future customer, or your client, and how important like marketing is, not just sales, but how important marketing is for your longevity. So if you can get like the right money mindset, that is going to help you as an entrepreneur because it's going to allow you to show up at vending events, on social media, thinking about your potential client instead of thinking about your sale right now, right? This vendor, like some of these vendors could have had so much more interaction and success, maybe not that day, but long-term. It doesn't sound like to me that, you know, there were a lot of people where you guys were like, yeah, we came here for house stuff. This is great that we came here. I mean, you literally said, I will never go to another one.
I won't.
And you are team renovation, which is huge because you are an ideal client. You spend money, on the things that they sell there. You know what I mean? Like you guys are getting ready to have an entire venue created where
I
you
know
will
this
need
is,
things.
yeah,
And you're like, that event is not great. I am going to trudge it out from vendor to vendor on my own rather than go to an event like this. You are the ideal client. You got a checkbook and you got lots of projects to come.
Yeah, I know. It's because if you don't have fun doing it and they don't make you feel important some way, I'm like, no, I don't need to be here. I just can't. It's so exhausting. I was looking for a good time. Now I feel mentally drained. I was like, no, we can't be doing that again.
Was there a cost?
Yeah, we paid to get in. I paid to be bored. Annoying. I can't. Yeah, there was a pay. Yeah. Yeah.
I wondered about it if you had to pay to get in.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say the highlight of it was having time with my sister and going and having a really good time. That was a good time. And us just actually relating on it, because if you went with someone that felt differently than you, that was like, oh no, that was the best thing ever, I'd have been like, you are lame yourself. And another thing that happened before we end, just to kind of side note, there was a woman in the bathroom. So Angel and I went pee, and another lady came in. And she said, did y'all go to the other side yet? And we were like, oh, yeah, so much better. She was like, oh, good. And then we were like, oh, when you first go in, she was like, yeah, y'all got some stuff, because she could see our bags were full. And we were like, oh, yeah, Mike, the seasoning, hilarious. Go there. It's so good. And then Angel described everything. We tasted it and all the stuff. She described it to the woman, as that woman's peeing, by the way. And then I was like, oh, yeah. And then when you pass that one, go get some cakes. They have a deal, 6 for $36. She was like, oh, what? I mean, so it was hilarious. And we were like, okay, well, we're just here to influence you in the bathroom. Got to go. And then we left. But you could tell, like, those two people made an impact on us, that we were like, that was really worth it. But other than that, it was kind of like, so.
Yeah. And the fact that you told the experience was so different that you told other people about them. That's their Mike seasonings, world domination. I've never even had the seasoning. I wrote it down. I'm going to look it up. I'm like, ooh, I need to start ordering some Mike seasonings. My husband's name is Mike, by the way. So that is right up my damn alley. That's right.
It.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
that's so good. Well, today was a great episode.
It really was.
Oh, Olivia missed it. Well, really Olivia, she'll have to catch the replay.
She will. So she can get all these gems, okay?
I know. Well, guys, go ahead. It's super easy. Give us a 5-star rating, and then it's so easy to do that I will even show you how to do it myself, but just put great episode, right? Great listen, whatever that was. And then make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We cannot wait to hang out with you every upload. Leave us a comment in the chat what you want us to hit on next, and we will do that for you. And we'll check you then.
All right. Love y'all. Bye.